Why I choose this kind of industry is due to everything is dependent on energy. You're dependent on electricity, you're dependent on fuel supply, how you manage every day to like going from work, getting home, staying at home. All this needs energy. And we know how dependent we are in just everyday life. But if you look at like more critical areas, such as emergencies, like hospitals, etc., it's really important that the system works. This critical infrastructure can't have any downtime because it affects many of us. So you also have different kind of macro perspective if you look at like geopolitics, different kind of resources, and all this complexity ends up that you need to have a robust and resilient system, and the tools that risk, crisis, and continuity management provide improves that resilience. You see that you make progress. You see that you make organizations, you make functions more efficient. And that's rewarding. And it's both developing yourself as well as the customer. And it's really interesting looking forward and going like how we're gonna manage all these complex systems, because if you look back, it was more bigger, centralized systems, fewer resources. Going forward, it's more diversified, and it will be a lot of challenges. But I like challenges. That's why I work with this. If you look at the trends within the energy utility sector, you have to mention new regulatory and reporting requirements, such as the NIS directive within the EU. And it increases the complexity to have a overview of the compliance status within the organization. Another trend is the improvement of cybersecurity capability. And it's even more important as the threat is more sophisticated and it's always changing and adapting. And here you need to understand what is really critical within the organization. And if you look at the advantages that digital transformation can bring, it also has some vulnerabilities. For instance, legacy software, legacy systems. If they get integrated within the digital transformation, it can open up new vulnerabilities to attacks and breaches. Another third trend I would say is the interest for business continuity and the importance of it, because the organizations get more complex, the process get more interdependent to different kind of systems and so forth. This makes it crucial to know what is mission critical and how and which dependencies do we have within that process. For me, readiness culture means integrated. A lot of organizations tend to divide risk, crisis management, and continuity into different silos, and thus they don't use the synergy effects that you can enable if they are integrated. And it's really important to get that efficiency, and you get clear definitions within the organization. You speak the same language when it comes to readiness. Working within the energy utility sector, you need to be humble, because there's a really complexity to the sector and all the interdependencies within different systems, different processes, different resources, and so forth. So you need to be humble. And also, we are in a position where we are going towards a transition to renewables, and trying to cope with that transition and keeping the readiness within the organization will be hard. So I would say different areas of the energy utility sector needs to come together more and more in the future.